On the machine, I always want to make sure this thing is up in the air. Otherwise it'll burn a gnarly hole in the table. And when you turn it on out up here, it'll give you the readings of where you're at. This number is the temperature of where it's at. This number is the temperature of where you want it to be. And that's your air volume that just adjusts the airflow. And up here is your speed. And these knobs here, I always keep it at 50 on the airflow. But generally on most materials, I can keep it at 21 on the speed right here. And then the air volume, I generally keep it at 50, unless I'm doing banner with no holes in it, and then I'll put it on 60. But other than that, I generally keep it on 50. And the temperature, you can adjust it right here. On all the materials we use, 1,000 degrees is perfect for the way that we're going to do this. And it takes it about 5 minutes to get to full temperature. And so the next little bit's just waiting. While you're waiting on your machine to warm up, you can go ahead and line up your banners. And if you'll notice on one of them, you'll want to cut it all the way to bleed. It's all the way to the edge. And then you'll find your other piece and you'll leave a tail on it anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches. And while your machine's warming up, it gives you just enough time to get all this set up. You'll need application tape and thin masking tape. First thing we'll use is the application tape. You'll need a few roughly 1 foot pieces. And on your bottom piece that's going to have the tail on it, you're going to put one piece right at the edge. Then you'll go across to the other side and do the same thing there. And when you put the second piece there, you're going to give it a little pull, and that'll tighten everything up. And we'll just reinforce it on the edges to make sure everything stays straight, because if you don't, you'll get a bow right here. Just like that. And we'll take our top piece and make sure if there's any words or text or faces or pictures on there, you line that up. And we'll take more application tape and do the same thing, except instead of going right to the edge, we'll go up 1 inch. Tape that down good. And we'll go across to the other side and do the same thing at 1 inch. Make sure everything stays lined up, and give it a pull and tape it down. Put a couple of reinforcing pieces on the back. Make sure everything stays straight. Next, what we're going to do is going to take some small, about 1 by 2 inch pieces of the application tape. Make sure our middle's lined up and tape it across the seam about every 5 to 6 feet, but since this piece is small, we'll do a few. And then you'll take your masking tape, your low tack, and you'll line it up with the very edge of where the two pieces meet. You go all the way across. One on the top and one on the bottom. Make sure you don't get the bottom one too close, because the vinyl will shrink up a little bit and you don't want tape stuck under there. So once you have everything lined up and taped down, you're ready to get the Leister machine and put it to use. Now once your machine's heated up, it'll normally get within 100 degrees of your range, which we have set at 1,000 for mesh. And once you see it hits about 880 to 900 degrees and stays there, you're ready to go. Now, the way I generally pick it up, just to stay safe, make sure this doesn't fall, there's a bulky area on the back of the heat gun back here, and I wrap my hand around there, And you generally grab it by this handle right here, and you can pick it up and put it right where you want it. And when you're lining it up with your material, if you drop something straight right in front of that wheel, it should hit right at the edge of the material right there. That's when you know you're in the right spot. And same as in the front, that seam should be right at the edge of the wheel. So you want to raise this lever to drop that wheel. And you'll need a knife or a 1-foot ruler or something that you can get underneath that piece of material. And like I said earlier about getting it too close, I've done just that. And this is the problem that you get from that. But it's easy fix, it's just frustrating. But you always want to keep your blade up so you don't cut the rubber wheel. You slide it right under there. That's going to act almost like a shoehorn does. And you take this knob here and pulling it back and forth will bring the blade closer to the machine or away from the machine. And as you bring it down, almost instantaneously when it touches, you're going to bring it forward to you underneath your knife. And you slide that out, and as the machine moves across, you can watch right here, and the pieces of tape that we put on there, it'll actually burn through them and just tear straight through. That's why you don't want to make them too thick. But you just want to watch it and make sure that everything goes in a straight line and keep the edge of that wheel lined up with the edge of the material. And once you pull it off, make sure you lock your blade up, unlock the wheels, move everything out of the way. You always want to make sure your cords are out of the way too, so you don't mess a piece up by maxing a cord out or stepping on it and falling, because that's hot. So once you let it cool a little bit, cool to the touch, you can start pulling away the masking tape, followed by the application tape. And make sure that you have a good, nice, solid seam, and you don't want to leave these pieces on there either. But if you've done everything right and you have both pieces pulled tight enough, it shouldn't wrinkle up, and all of your words or pictures or text should line up in the middle all the way down the piece. And this works no matter how thin or long the piece of material is. Once you have the front side, you want to take your material and flip it away from you or towards you. You don't want to flip it side to side. When you flip this, and of course on a larger piece of material you'll want an extra hand, your seam will be up, but your top seam will still be on your side of the material. So all you'll need for this side is application tape, or application tape. And once you can get it to pull off right, you'll put it, again, 1 inch from the seam. And you want to lay it at least 7-8 inches in just to get it to hold. And then put that down and go to the other side. And you always want to keep about 10 inches to a foot of space between the seam and the edge of the table. And that's to make up for the machine. But you'll come to the other side and again, 1 inch in, lay it down on the material, give your tape a pull, and tape it down. And we'll do a smaller piece on the top.